Good morning, comrades. Welcome to the program. As usual, we have me, Jeff, in the captain's seat, hanging here, ready to talk about some news. I got a lot of stories today, some funny ones, some tragic ones, some that are just going to make you angry. But yeah, how's everybody doing today? It is Thursday. The week is almost through. I'm pretty happy about that. I did want to talk about the vaccination story that I got. I got my vaccination yesterday. First one, it's the Moderna. The thing about that was the most interesting to me. There was a couple of things that I found very interesting to me. One, the way that we signed up for it. So we recently learned that teachers, and I'm a teacher, I'm off duty right now. I'm on unpaid leave because I am currently, my family has things like asthma and low vitamin D. So I just made the decision that I couldn't go back to work, and it's not safe to go back to work. Unfortunately, many of my peers were not able to make the same decision, or they didn't agree. However, that's the decision that I made, and so I've been sort of out of the job for a little while. But anyway, I signed up for this vaccine through Jefferson Parish, which is the parish that I live in, and it was very interesting because it was one of those things where, have you ever like get tickets for like a show or something like that that's really popular and you need to sign up like immediately? Well, this is what it was like. There were 500 appointments that you can get the vaccine at this place called the Ilario Center, which is kind of a, like a public, arena. And the time to start making the appointments was 9:00 in the morning, and by 9:01, if you sign into the thing at 9:01, you were too late. They were already all gone. So the vaccine is definitely highly in demand. So that's good news. But I found it's kind of an interesting and weird way of distributing vaccine. I know it's not the only way. I know some people can get it through their pharmacy or whatever. I know in some places are worse than others. It's just going to be a messy, rocky rollout. But anyway, it was a whole drive-through process, which I also thought was really cool. So yes, that was Monday when we signed up and filled the thing out. Then yesterday rather, Wednesday was when we went and got the vaccine. My wife got hers yesterday on Tuesday rather, which was at it was at a hospital. And then I went on yesterday to the Ilario Center, and it was just like a long carpool line, and it was just a drive through. They check your name, you make sure you're on the list, you go through, give them the paperwork. You could have it pre-filled out if they sent you an email. You give it to the person, they stick you in the arm, then they gave me a Tweety Bird Band-Aid. You drive up, wait 15 minutes, see if you have any kind of a reaction, and then you get to go home. And that was it. It was very, very simple, very, very quick. I was actually kind of impressed by how smoothly it was going. I have a little soreness in my arm, just a little tiny bit of soreness, not a big deal. I felt a little tired afterwards. I took a nap. But beyond that, I mean, I was able to record a podcast episode that we released just this morning. Robert and I talked a lot about the Amazon. You should check that out at our website, goodmorningcomrade.com. You should also, yeah. So anyway, that's my story about the vaccine. If anybody's scared about the vaccine, don't be, I guess. I mean, I know some people have had reactions. It's definitely real, but from what I understand, it's a significant minority of cases. Go get your vaccine, folks. It's the only way, one of the only ways we're going to get through this. Obviously, it's not a situation where, like, after you get I have a second dose scheduled for March 24th. And also, I think it takes effect, like the vaccine takes effect like a couple of weeks after, maybe a month. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics. I'm not going to be going out partying necessarily. As soon as, as soon as that day hits, I mean, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. There's still like science and questions about whether or not, questions in the science as to whether or not you can, uh, still get infected and transmit to other people. I know that in certain situations you can still get COVID even though you're vaccinated. So, I'm not going to be doing the thing where I'm going to be all reckless just because I got the vaccine. However, um, however, I do all of this just to point out that I got my vaccine before Meghan McCain, host of The View. For those of y'all who aren't aware, there was this really, like, I want to play it one more time. Let me pull it up. I wasn't prepared to it, but it's too funny. Too funny. It's too good. Oh my God. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where is it? So cringy. Oh, why am I such a boomer? Why can't I find the thing when I need to find the thing? I had it like exactly where I wanted it, and then I, like a loser, got rid of it. Hold on. Here it is. Here it is. No, not Inside Edition. I don't want Inside Edition. I never want Inside Edition. Ever. I never want the Inside Edition or Entertainment Tonight version. I don't want it. That's not what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to give up now. Now the fact that I've dug in my heels and I said, I'm going to do this. Here it is. Yes. Yes. This is it. Found it.
So, Megan, are you any
Tel Aviv?
So here's Meghan McCain talking about why she thinks that Anthony Fauci should be fired.
Family or dinner with, I mean, I don't have any grandparents left, but, older people. Terribly inconsistent messaging, and it continues to be inconsistent messaging in Israel and Tel Aviv. One of the messages, my friends, is the science in Israel different than the science here in the United States of America? Because Israel has over half of their country vaccinated already and seem to be doing pretty well. The idea that I can get vaccinated and I won't be able to see friends and nothing in life changes and that we're going to have to wear masks forever. I don't understand the downplaying of getting the vaccine, because right now we should be wanting as many Americans as possible to get a vaccine. The fact that Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, Meghan McCain, as many Americans as possible to get a vaccine. The fact that Meghan McCain, co-host of The View, I don't know when or how I will be able to get a vaccine, because the rollout for my age range and my health is so nebulous. I have no idea when and how I can get it. I want to get it. If you call me at 3:00 in the morning, I will go any place at any time to get it. I want to be responsible and obviously wait my turn. But this rollout,
I just, like, nothing right now brings me more joy than the fact that I got my vaccination before Meghan McCain, host of The View. Is that petty? I know I'm being, like, extremely petty and extremely, like, I don't know. I'm being kind of like whatever, but I just think it's very, very funny that somebody would just have that kind of temerity to just come out and say, "I like when I, Meghan McCain." You know who my father is? You know who my father is? My father's John McCain, the war hero. So anyway, it's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. And as is tradition with Meghan McCain, have to do here we go.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the administration, the people who are actually impacted by this.
My father, my father, my father, my father, my father, my father, my father's, my father, my father's, my father, my father, my father. I mean, my father, 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 my father's, my father, 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 my father's, my father, 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 my father's my father, 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 my father's my father, my father, my father's my father, my father, my father, my father's my father, my father's my father, 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 and my father, my father, my father, my father, my father, my father. I am John McCain's daughter.
I'm John McCain's daughter. I just love that. G Wolf, welcome. Did you want to come hop into Discord? I sent you the link via email like a boomer. Did you want to hop into Discord and talk a little bit about what's going on in Texas? I know I brought it up to you the other day. If you're up for it, you are welcome to join us. In the meantime, I will. Let's see. Yeah, just hop in the voice channel or send me a DM, and we can hook that up. And while I bring that up, I wanted to talk about this specific thing related to Texas. So Texas electric bills were $28 billion higher under deregulation. $28 billion higher after coffee. Okay. So competition in the electricity supply business promised reliable power at a more affordable cost. Ha ha. Free market seems pretty expensive to me, folks. I don't know. Texas's deregulated electricity market, which was supposed to provide reliable power at a lower price, left millions in the dark last week. For 2 decades, its customers have paid more for electricity than state residents who are served by traditional utilities, a Wall Street Journal analysis has found. Now, this is the right-wing Wall Street Journal post, and it's so right-wing that I can't even read the entire article because they paywall their stuff, which is just exactly, there was a President's Day sale for only $4 a month for the Wall Street Journal. Nah, no thank you. But anyway, so the Wall Street Journal, the right-wing like stonks paper, the one that's owned by Rupert Murdoch, it's like the Fox News of newspapers, Fox newspaper, you can call it, essentially is saying that, actually this deregulated free market system, it's actually worse than like when traditional utilities were the way things were done. Nearly 20 years ago, Texas shifted from using full-service regulated industries to generate power and deliver to its customers. The state deregulated power generation, creating the system that failed last week, and it required nearly 60% of consumers to buy their electricity from one of many retail power companies rather than a local utility. Those deregulated Texas residential consumers paid $28 billion more for their power since 2004 than they would have paid at the rates charged to the customers of the state's traditional utilities, according to the Journal's analysis of data from the Federal Energy Information Administration. The crisis last week was driven by the power producers. Now that power has largely been restored, attention has turned to retail electric companies, a few of which are hitting consumers with steep bills. Power prices surged to the market price cap of $9,000 a megawatt hour. So that is literally the most people could pay for energy, $9,000 per megawatt hour for several days during the crisis. A feature of the state's system designed to incentivize power plants to supply more juice. Some consumers who chose variable rate power plans from from retail power companies are seeing big bills, and we were talking about those big bills. $10,000, $15,000, like these crazy numbers. So the entire situation in Texas, nothing about the free market system in Texas made it better. It made it more expensive by $28 billion. One. Two, it Two, it made it so that the incentivization was to not winterize the fracking wells and the pipes. They made the cost benefit analysis that they would not winterize things. So what happens? The pipes freeze up, the fracking wells freeze, the power supply gets cut off, and supply of power gets throttled. And people like Jerry Jones, like we've mentioned over here, talk about how they hit the jackpot because they can charge way more for electricity in that very moment. They could price gouge the hell out of people. So this system is just shits all the way down. There's nothing good about this system at all. Period. And I mean, it was obviously the system that they had prior, the one where they would have regulated utilities run by the government. Not perfect, sure, but definitely better. So, Ted Cruz, Jerry Jones, Greg Abbott, all these oil baron motherfuckers, y'all are full of it. All right. We have another story that I wanted to kind of touch on too. Oh, hold on a second. System bad. Scott, you want to hop on here? I'm going to send the link to the DM. So, next story I wanted to talk about was this one. This is kind of a happy story. Amazon workers' fight to unionize draws help from around the world. Well, this is wholesome. Labor groups across the country and beyond are joining the effort to create a union at an Amazon facility in Alabama, which would be the first in the U.S. Now, we've talked a lot about this. Bringing Scott in now. What's up, Scott?
Nothing much. Just keep going.
We on our episode that released the podcast this morning. Robert and I went in. We did a deep dive on some of the stuff that's going on around this Amazon drive, and I want to watch this video. So this is from the Huffington Post, written by Dave Jamieson. Amazon workers fight to unionize, draws help from around the world. Love to see it, folks.
Union busting is disgusting.
Union busting is disgusting.
Union busting is disgusting.
Union busting. Amazon workers are on our streets. All And Amazon warehouse workers in Bessemer, Alabama, will begin voting by mail on whether to be represented by the union. They're referencing the harsh working conditions at the Amazon warehouse. They're not following the COVID restrictions. Folks are dying from COVID while at work. To save their own lives, they have to abandon their bodies.
So we were talking last night about how there was a really great video. We can show it here too, I think, from More Perfect Union of other high-profile people supporting the drive. Have you paid very much attention to the unionizing drive out in Bessemer, Scott?
Yeah, they're paying people to quit their jobs for like a month, so they can't vote.
I'm not exactly sure what the actual reality on that reporting was. It seems like it was like definitely sketch.
I thought it was just the people working there saying that they had offers.
Kim Kelly did some reporting on that, and maybe we should reach out to her. There was a little bit of confusion on the reality of that, but I mean, I would not be surprised if like there was just like some stuff thrown in to sort of confuse workers as well. Anyway,
I mean, Bessemer, Alabama, famous hometown of two-sport legend Bo Jackson.
Hey, you know what? Bo's one of the greatest, though.
Yeah, he is.
Here's the video that we looked at last night. This is about Amazon.
Amazon is that
Moore.
Big.
This one like almost made me cry.
The fight that you are waging is not only going to impact people where you work, it's going to send a message to workers all across this country.
It sort of is a domino effect.
The value for it is not only for you singularly, but for the present, the past, and the future. That's why we need you to vote yes.
Even if you are taking on the richest guy in the country, even if you are taking on a incredibly powerful corporation.
You deserve the dignity and well-being that a union can help provide, allowing you to care for yourself and those you love.
A 5-day work week, 40-hour work week, the weekends we enjoy,
paid holidays, sick days and vacations, overtime, family and medical leave, military leave, safety standards, and so much more.
All of that is the work of unions.
Workers stand up, stand together, and fight. They can win.
When voices have been silenced throughout our history, unions have also been a place to give voice to working families.
If you don't feel dignified and you're constantly fighting for your humanity to be recognized, you're just the shell of a person. You're not.
I think Ilhan Omar was a union.
I know it's not
easy.
easy.
I
know that Amazon is putting a lot of pressure on you.
Where'd she work?
The union.
In Minnesota.
But I hope
I'm not exactly sure what
that you guys stand together, do the right thing, and tell the world that the workers in Amazon are prepared to move forward and create the first union in Amazon in the United States of America, right there in Alabama.
You carry on the spirit and tradition in Alabama that has fought against so many obstacles. You carry on, you're the continuum of that struggle. It is the right thing to do, it is the just thing to do, and God bless you.
So anyway, that's a little bit of the positive side of what's going on in Alabama. We also talked about like, where's Joe Biden and all this sort of question. But anyway, here's some more support that have come in. It's really great to see people rallying around this. Roughly 100 organizers have been calling workers from Amazon's Bessemer, Alabama warehouse in recent weeks, making the case for why they should unionize. The robust phone banking operation reflects the high stakes for organizing labor as workers at the facility consider forming the first Amazon union in the U.S. The organizing effort extends well beyond the Retail Wholesale Department Store Union, the RWDSU, which would represent the facility's employees. The phone campaign includes around 20 organizers on loan from AFL-CIO, the influential labor federation that includes 55 unions. A dozen nurses who recently unionized their hospital in North Carolina also have been pitching in on the effort. calling workers to tell them large-scale labor victories are possible in the South. Members of other local unions have been meeting with Amazon workers in Alabama to answer questions and counter the company's aggressive anti-union campaign. And when we talk about anti-union, like aggressive anti-union campaign, we're talking like changing the street lights so you don't have time to, knock on people's doors and wait there. That you are or like putting ads that say "vote no" on the union on bathroom, like inside of bathroom stalls. Like this is an absolutely, it's insanity the levels that Amazon's going to of invasiveness, essentially, to get people to vote no on this union or to scare them out of it. Even unions from overseas have lent a hand in sending testimonials from their members to the RWDSU and offering to raise concerns about Amazon's behavior in Alabama with their own governments, according to Stuart Applebaum, the president of RWDSU. So this is like literally what solidarity looks like. You have the troops being rallied, the banners being raised. This is Applebaum. People want to be part of this. They want to help out because they know this is not just about the people on at this one facility. It's about something much bigger. Many union leaders in the U.S. understand the transcendence of this campaign. And like, this is like a double, like if this can win, this is a double because it's will be the first significant union, first union that I know about. I'm probably the only one that will exist at Amazon. 2, it's going to happen in the aggressively, at least currently. There's real union history in Alabama, but currently it is a extremely hostile state to organized labor. And the fact that a lot of the South is like that, and it has been for a very, very long time, can sort of be something like a big sort of point on the scoreboard that you can point to and say, hey, they did it in Bessemer, Alabama. We can do it anywhere.
I mean, Alabama's got a bunch of steel mill people. I'm sure they
absolutely. They definitely do have steel union workers for sure, 100% out there. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is that it's been really tough going. I mean, same here. It's been tough going in terms of getting new unions chartered and getting new labor organized, and that needs to happen. We need to grow the labor movement. We're down to below 10%.
That's not a lot of percent.
That's like,
man, I've never been in a union, but I did work at a place where they were we had to talk. Where they were like, oh yeah, if you guys even talk about union, they're gonna shut down the whole branch.
Yeah, which is illegal, by the way.
Well, they did it. They also fired. They also fired our bosses for giving us a bonus.
Amazon has grown so large and powerful that it's reshaping the entire retail and logistics sector in the U.S. and abroad. If U.S. unions cannot gain a toehold within Amazon's massively growing workforce, it could threaten unions' hard-won gains at other employers and further reduce their shrinking footprint in the economy. Only around 6% of private sector employees belong to unions now. Public sector workers are a lot higher, so that ups the number to 9 or 10% across the board. But in private sector, it's less than 10. I mean, it's around 6. So I mean, obviously solidarity with the folks in Bessemer, Alabama, with the workers on the ground. We really, really, really need this to happen. And apparently workers are excited to talk about this too. This is from Christian Sweeney, a deputy organizing director with AFL-CIO. Workers are picking up the phone a lot more, certainly more than in the political season, he said. It's rewarding phone banking because the anti-union campaign has been so overwhelming, workers are more willing to talk. So it sounds to me, at least according to this particular quote, and that all of this invasive union busting is backfiring. It's because they've been so ham-handed. Amazon has been they've written a whole website They put up a whole website about like why you shouldn't join a union. It's a unionbuster.com essentially. It's about why you should do it without dues and like why Amazon is your best friend or whatever. It's incredible.
I mean, it's like counterintelligence that is people's like basically these people just figuring out what they mean, like that the opposite must be good, you know? Like I hate my boss. So why would anything they want be good?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's going on here. I just wanted to kind of touch base on that. We talked about this a lot more on our episode last night with me and Robert. We talked about that almost exclusively, actually. So definitely, if you haven't listened, check it out. I want to hit a couple more stories. We're about it's 8:30. We got time for a couple of more. Here is one from Forbes.com. Here's a headline for you. The U.S. Air Force just admitted the F-35 stealth fighter has failed. Scott, what do you were in the Air Force? They were working on the F-35 when you were in there, right?
Well, F-22 is the big one when I was there in the beginning.
No, F-35 was the development one, like the one that they spent so much money on, right?
They spent much money on both.
Okay.
And then they gave up on the F-22 because like it had all these problems, and then they were just like, "Oh, we're focused on the F-35."
Well,
and
they've given up on the F-35 now. The U.S. Air Force's top officer wants the service to develop an affordable, lightweight fighter to replace hundreds of Cold War vintage F-16s and complement a small fleet of sophisticated but costly and unreliable stealth fighters. The result would be a high-low mix of expensive fifth-generation F-22s and F-35s. So essentially, like the F-35 was like this huge economic boondoggle, right?
Yeah.
It was like
how much they wrote about it in the Air Force Times all the time.
What's that?
About how much of a shit show it was.
Yeah. Well, what did they write about it? I want to know about. I want to know what the inside.
There's always some story about. Like, I mean, this isn't inside shit. Like, people in the civilian sector write about it. Like, they're not going to write about some stuff in the Air Force Times that you not know about. Like,
right.
It's basically, it's like kind of stuff you already know. But I mean, there's always some story. Like, you could look up Wired.com. I was doing it the other day, just looking at all this stuff, and it was like always some story about, the F-22 is going great. The F-35 is going great, but slight problem with the breathing systems.
Fly when it's raining.
Like slight problem with the breathing systems. They're poisoning the pilots. So we have to go back to the workshop for that one. And it's always something like that. Like, I mean, it's always people are mad because they're replacing the Warthogs, which people love, because like these aren't like these. They're supposed they're trying to make them like one plane does all, and like, so nobody's happy.
The Omniplane.
Yeah, everybody's like, we want to keep the Warthogs, and I think even Chuck Norris was like, we should keep the Warthogs.
Damn, even Chuck Norris.
Yeah. I mean, always just talking about like how much money we're sinking into it and how much it sucks and how much everybody are like, well, we still like the F-16 or F-18 and all that. So like, people are belly aching because, I mean, people were mad because they were losing like jobs in the career field. Like, people would always want to go work and do like, I forget which one it is. I think it's the F-117, the first stealth one. People would try to get that job, like go do it, like. In basic, you're always trying to get a job. Like they're trying to figure out what kind of job you want. Like, so they make you take all these tests, and people would be like, "I'm the F-117 pilot. That's going to be a cool job." But then they started like, squeezing those jobs out because like you can't keep spending money on these old planes if like we have this cool new plane that's going to do everything, right?
Well, and you know how much they spent on the F-35? Just incidentally.
Yeah, $1.5 trillion.
$1.5 trillion. Like when Joe Biden is like coming out and saying we can't spend $1.9 billion on a stimulus check. This is $1.5 trillion on a freaking plane that doesn't work.
I mean, how much Does that say how much they spent on the F-22 as well? Because they might be splitting that over two to make it not seem like as much, you know?
I have no idea about the F-22. I don't know shit about the F-22. I just know about the F.
I mean, I'm sure that's.
I don't know Bo. I know Hunter. I don't know. I don't know Bo. I know Hunter.
I'm sure it's like pretty easy to get information. It's like taxpayer money.
Let's see. Let me pull it up from the very reliable site Wikipedia. The severe officials had originally planned to buy a total of 750 ATFs. In 2009, the program was cut to 187 due to high costs. How much was development, though?
Is the F-22?
44.3 billion. A drop in. It's like a third of the cost of the F-35.
Yeah, but they were like, I mean, whoever works on this stuff, like Skunkworks or whoever, is probably just like
Lockheed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's Skunkworks.
Okay.
It's like their secret division.
So we can't get money. F-22 was nowhere as big a fail as the F-35, says G Wolf.
Because they stopped and like readjusted. Because they were like,
wow, there's an F-117. How many Fs are there going to be? Like, why do we need to keep sinking billions and dollars?
No, that's the one from like the 80s.
Huh?
That's the one from the 80s.
Okay, I don't know.
That's the one I was just telling you about. Like, that's the one that people thought was a spaceship, so they'd go sit in their lawn chairs outside of like Area 51 and try to like catch them like taking off and stuff.
This kind of like makes me think of and like I know it's problematic or whatever, but like remember Iron Man when the first Iron Man when he like showed the bomb that just like had a bunch of little bombs in it and he just like stands in front of it like he's God. That's what all of these people are actually like.
I mean, yeah, I saw that. Elon Musk's PR team saw that too, and they like decided to make his whole image.
Yeah, just make him like Tony Stark, make him fucking like basically a villain.
I mean, they got him hair plugs and everything for it.
I do want to jump. I wanted to just touch on that really quickly. I actually don't know too much about those kinds of things, but I do want to jump to this. At the same time, we're talking about the $1.3 trillion boondoggle. We see this. Democrats must stop the IRS from eating unemployed stimulus checks. What?
How hungry is the IRS?
So if Biden doesn't forgive the taxes on millions of Americans' unemployment benefits, they might not forgive them for their giant surprise bills. For decades, Democrats have lived in terror of the American public's reputed allergy to taxation. In 2016, the party's presidential nominee was so afraid of antagonizing her nation's IRS-averse electorate, she promised not to raise taxes on anyone earning less than $250,000 a year, a pledge that spared all but the top 2% of individual earners. Blah, 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 blah. Americans hate taxes. Sure.
Who was that again?
Huh?
Who was that again?
Hillary Clinton. She promised, I'm not going to raise taxes on anyone that makes less than $250,000 a year, which is like nobody. It's like 4 people, right? But Democrats are about to let the IRS unleash on large surprise tax bills on millions of Americans who lost their jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic. The cause of this development is simple, and its adverse political implications long foreseen. Unemployment benefits qualify as taxable income, a reality that often takes recipients by surprise come tax season. But in ordinary years, the number of Americans facing large, unanticipated IRS bills as a result of receiving unemployment benefits is sharply limited by 3 factors. 1, the number of Americans who typically collect unemployment benefits for an extensive period of time tends to be small. 2, state unemployment insurance offices tend to withhold a percentage of the unemployment benefits for tax purposes. And 3, lamentably, America's unemployment benefits tend to be quite low, and at least by OECD standards. So essentially, the fact that we're going to have 40 million people because of COVID qualify for unemployment benefits, then that means that those people have been on unemployment since presumably the beginning of the pandemic. So March, they're going to have crazy tax bills because that is taxable income that they're getting from the government. And they're going to essentially get the stimmy check and they're going to lose the stimmy check. It's just going to go right away.
Well, we're not even going to get it, it seems like.
They're supposed to vote on it on Friday, and then in the House, and then like sometime over the weekend in the Senate. But it's not going to be the 2,000 like we expected. It's 1,400. I wanted to talk about this specifically, like right after the $1.3 trillion, $1.5 trillion boondoggle of the F-35 too, right? Because we always have $1.5 trillion to dump into some shitty plan to, try and kill something in the coolest Cadillac possible. But then when it's time for, American people or just anybody who lives here or anybody, period, to, who needs money to survive, oh, wow, we're actually just going to zap that and take it away because that's just how we value people in this society. It's that's capitalism, baby. It's like war capitalism.
I mean, what do you expect? I mean, Joe doesn't care.
Huh?
Joe doesn't care. Like, he's going to tax the poor people. Like, even Hillary Clinton, the absolute loser, didn't think they knew that was a dumb idea. Like, I don't know, man. It seems like they really keep pushing this back too. Like, how long did it take them to do this? They're like taking vacations and stuff instead of like voting on and stuff. They got an important bill going through today. The House is voting on that the Equality Act.
Oh yeah, HR 1. Yeah. Can't invest in people. That would be bad. Yeah, you're right, G-Wolf. You're right. We actually just need the cool Cadillac bomber that's gonna poison the pilot and can't fly in the rain. That's much more important than making sure that people have food on their table. We need to make sure that we cut fat checks to Elon Musk so he can blast rockets into space instead of having people.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. Why does he need our money?
Huh?
He's a billionaire. What does he need our money for?
Well, he gets huge government contracts to do SpaceX because what's ended up happening over the past several decades, since neoliberalism essentially, we've taken government programs and privatized them, and NASA specifically has been taken from the literal part of the government that was the first to the moon, and decided, hey, you know what? We should just cut checks to private corporations and private entities and have them do it instead.
They know he's an idiot, right?
He's a billionaire idiot.
Yeah, he's still an idiot. That doesn't make anybody smarter. That just that makes him more dumb. I take some jackass down the barway over Elon Musk any day.
Yeah. So that's it I wanted to just kind of touch on that really quick. So we have tons of money for F-35s. We don't have any money for people to feed their families. Pay their rent.
That's just what the government wants. They want us to go to like a Cold War with China so we could just spend more on defense.
Right. Here's another story. This one's a little bit of a change of gears, but I saw that a friend of the show posted about it. For Lee Circle and a third and final name proposal as 37 changes go to the New Orleans Council. So they're changing some street names in New Orleans. I'm not necessarily I don't feel super strongly about any of the specifics of here. I'm glad that they're taking racist names off of the streets. I just wanted to get to a particular point here, but I'll start by just reading about what's going on. The New Orleans City Council Street Renaming Commission settled Wednesday night on its final recommendation for the traffic circle that once hosted a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee, Egalite Circle, which I like that. It's actually harkens back to French Revolution, liberté, égalité, fraternité, that kind of thing.
Ain't there no more.
Huh?
Ain't there no more.
Yeah, I like the idea of still leaving nothing on top of there. I just like the idea of a pedestal with nothing on it. I think it's actually pretty good symbolism, but what you gonna do? Maybe they're gonna leave it and just call it Egalite Circle. Who knows? The proposal, which would actually supply the circular park surrounding the still standing pedestal and not to the roadway itself, is perhaps the most debated and closely watched of the commission's recommendations. The suggestions now go to the city council, which will decide what changes to make to 34 streets and 3 parks that were named for Confederate leaders and supporters of segregation. Like I say, like this is a good development. In like a limited sense, it's not like getting people, the things that they need in the middle of a pandemic, but it's also like good to not have racist names and iconography throughout your city and street names, right? It's good. Jay Banks said something. Nothing we do is an attempt to rewrite history, blah, blah, blah. Wednesday meeting ends the first phase of a process in the city council started in 2020 as a reaction to summer protests in the United States against police violence and racism. Those are the George Floyd protests and many others. Trayvon Pellerin, of course, in Lafayette. Lee Circle is one of the most prominent landmarks on the renaming list, and there's been difficulty in getting consensus recommendation from the commission members. In the initial vote in November, commissioners chose to rename it for the late chef Leah Chase. That would have been interesting. A second proposal put forward weeks ago would have gone with Harmony Circle. That's kind of terrible.
Boring. Boring.
Yeah. Egalite Circle is cool. Along with recommendation, like that's like Kumbaya. Harmony Circle is like Kumbaya Circle, right?
I like the Leah Chase one because
Leah Chase is cool. She's got like a whole like block in Mid City though, but I wouldn't argue. If it was Leah Chase.
It's a good name. Also, I just like wordplay. Okay,
I got you, man. I got you. I understand. Egalite Circle was named aimed at capturing the spirit of equality that inspired the French and Haitian revolutions, both of which influenced New Orleans and the civil rights movement in New Orleans throughout the U.S. So it's historically significant. I appreciate that. You know what? More people need to know about the Haitian Revolution. That's like the first successful slave revolt that happened in the Americas. That's like nobody, like most people, if you talk to them, don't know a damn thing about the Haitian Revolution, which is a shame.
I know about it.
You know about it?
Yeah.
Cool. Egalite Circle will remind us of the aspirations and values upon which our nation was founded, said Milton E. Methvin. I am proud that New Orleans is leading the way towards truth and reconciliation and healing. Now, I bring this up to talk about some things that people are mad about in this process too. And I do this just for because it's just too delicious to
let's check out the comments.
Yeah, that's the whole point. So Commissioner Carl Connor pushed back on the idea that the street names were innocuous. Oh, no, not that. Some comments suggested the renaming was an effort to punish white residents. The process is, quote, the Negro's opportunity to press for retribution, said James Dumpster. Is it named Dumpster?
I don't know. I can't see it.
Dumestre. That's Dumpster, right?
Wait. What is it?
Dumpster.
How you spell it?
Look on the screen. Dumestre. That's Dumpster.
It's probably Desestry, but Dumpster is good.
Well, he says the process is Negro's opportunity to press.
Jeff. Huh? I said look at the comments.
Oh no, I'm not looking at I'm reading the article still. He argued demands the firstborn sons of white residents would be next. So he's talking about some white genocide shit. We don't need to get to the comments. This is what was said like at the city council meeting. These are the public comments, baby. Tom Longmire argued that changing street's name amounted to Confederate-ophobia, wondering why some people were, quote, intolerant, end quote, toward a violent secession movement aimed at keeping a race of people enslaved. He equated changing the street signs with the Nazis' treatment of Jews in the run-up to the Holocaust, which resulted in the slaughter of 6 million people. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Phobia and the Nazi treatment of Jews is what you get for changing a street name.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Confederatophobia is pretty justified.
Confederate. The commission's final report passed with one dissension from Paul Strebkow, City Councilman Joe DeRusso District. So Paul Strebkow and James Dumpster, y'all are Tom Longmire. Oh my God.
Isn't that the sheriff show?
I'm sorry, but like these two lines here are the lead. Like the rest of it's fine, but like the talking about the Negro's opportunity to press for retribution, and he argues that the firstborn sons of white residents are going to be next. Is one they're going to get their names, the streets that their names are named after, like changed. Like that's what's next. Oh no, they're going to change more street names. That's like horrible. And then Confederatophobia and the Holocaust. Holy crap, man!
No, I need to
the real QAnon stuff. They don't have comments here anymore, do they?
I need to see what
I need comments here, man. Like
I need to see what Kenamom 89's got to say about this.
I like we have some TOS things to worry about. I don't know, man.
What? Whatever, man.
I don't want us to get banned. There's not any good comments anyway. I'm looking at
you. You just don't want this to be a good show.
That's right. Well, in my to wrap us up, to bring us home for one last story, Dumbster, Dumbster, nice one, S, clever. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Dumbster. Got his ass. Speaking of dumpsters. We have one last story. This is going to be another piece of candy. Gender reveal device explosion kills father to be. It's actually kind of sad from the perspective that somebody died, but like also at the same time,
I mean, this guy was doing this for like the Instagram clout.
Yeah, and like right. I mean, that is sad, right? Like it is. So let's read the story. It is definitely sad, but like let's get into it. A father to be from New York State has died. I guess calling this a piece of candy is a little bit insensitive, but whatever.
Hey, sometimes candy's a little bitter, man. Makes it go down a little easier.
A father to be from New York State has died after a device he was building for his child's gender reveal party exploded, according to police. Christopher Peckney, 28, was assembling the device in the town of Liberty when it exploded just before noon on Sunday. Police said that the blast killed Mr. Peckney and injured his brother, Michael Peckney, 27, who was taken to the hospital. Gender reveal parties are celebrations announcing whether expecting parents are going to have a boy or a girl. Like, you can do fun stuff to talk about, like, oh, we're going to have a kid. But, like, obviously, I have a huge problem with gender reveal parties just kind of in general. It, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to get into
They didn't
the gender and everything like that. And
they didn't exist until like a decade ago when people started getting
a decade ago, like 2 years ago on Instagram.
Yeah, you pop like a balloon and
yeah. You can't get to, and like I have a problem with that too, but at least it's like more harmless than like these extremely
yeah, they've gotten elaborate.
Yeah. Let's dig in a bit more. Police have not specified what device caused Sunday's explosion. New York State Police Department and its bomb disposal unit are investigating the incident.
I mean, they should get the ATF on that one. Like, that's like their purview. They're all about going to get some bombs.
A spokesman for state police told the New York Times the device consisted of some kind of pipe it's some kind of bomb. We needed the bomb disposal unit, and the device consisted of some kind of pipe. We won't say what kind of device it was. We've not specified what kind of device caused the explosion, but we needed the bomb disposal unit, and it involved some kind of pipe. What could it possibly be?
Well, when I was in the military, they always had like very shortened names for these things. It would always be like an ID or like
ID.
Yeah, but it's like now it's like a GRD
gender reveal device.
Yeah, like Like they're probably going to be in some like government like
they probably already have that shit.
Probably. I mean, it is pretty ridiculous because like didn't what gender reveal thing like start that big California fire?
Yes, there was a California fire started by a gender reveal party. There was some kind of fire based thing. I think that he actually here that's covered in here. They can include, well, speaking to the newspaper, Mr. Pickney's oldest brother, Peter Pickney Jr., described what happened as the freakiest of freak accidents that I could ever imagine. He did not know what set off the explosion. The death is the latest in a string of catastrophes to be linked to gender reveal parties in recent years. They can include prediction games with the, quote, big reveal being made with fireworks and colored smoke grenades. But several large-scale parties have gone wrong, even resulting in several deaths. A man from Michigan was killed earlier this month after he was struck by shrapnel from a small cannon-type device fired during a baby shower. Good God. 2 other gender reveal parties were blamed for sparking wildfires in California in September 2020 and Arizona in 2017. So, like, again, like, this is like, again, it's sad that this person like is dead from this thing, but like, to touch on the gender reveal party, like it is actually something that causes damage despite I mean, like in addition, I suppose, to the actual like explosive destruction. I mean, like it does the thing where it essentializes gender in this really sort of coercive way. You're celebrating, you know, this kid is going to be assigned male or female at birth. I don't want to like get into that too much because I know I'm going to fuck it up. But like I have a problem with that sort of in general, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's just like dumb stuff, and it's killing people now. Like this stupid thing that doesn't even exist, like isn't even a real thing. People just like do it for their like social media. Like it's killing people. It's killed more people than Antifa.
It really, I mean, if it killed one person, it's killed more than Antifa.
Yeah, I know.
So here's the video.
It's getting more true.
Here's the video of the wildfire one, by the way. They have a video on here. Let's watch it.
These people going to jail, or? I know in Colorado you can't even like throw a cigarette out your window.
Yeah, a party creating the gender of yet to be a child yet to be born, and with shrapnel too. Yeah, that's what's going on. People, I mean, like, look, I get being happy that you're gonna have a kid. Okay, that's great. But I mean, like, the gender reveal party is really weird.
Yeah,
from like a couple of different perspectives, and then just the like ostentatiousness, the conspicuousness of like, hey, let's shoot a target. This one's incredible because they literally shoot a target that explodes with blue powder and fire. Like it's a boy.
Plus, this is very like dad's rock. Like, man, we got to make the dad get into this thing, so we're gonna make like a gun element to it. You know,
like even though it had like some of the it's ostentatious, it's virtue signaling. Yeah, exactly. But like I don't know, man. Like there was like the much more harmless but still problematic trope of like, oh, the dad's there when his kid's born and he's got a football and he's sad because it's a girl is a lot less damaging than this shit.
I mean, it's weird. Like I think people, it's like other than like the obvious stupid like gender critical shit.
By the way,
what?
I'm just saying it's sad because it's assigned girl at birth. By the way,
yeah. I mean, like other than the gender critical stuff, like this is just like another party people get to have for like their stupid kids, and like people have to be like tricked into going there. Like
I have no problem with a party. No problem with the party.
I mean, I don't have anything with. I
definitely get what you're saying.
I don't have any problem blowing things up in your yard, but like,
true. Why you gotta tie it to gender?
But yeah, like, why's it gotta have this stupid thing? If you just want to have people over your house, like, do it for less turfy reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or just like less essentialist reasons. Like these people might be fine with with, they might be totally up on the woke thing or whatever, but they are just like the gender essentializing of this whole thing is just really, really weird and creepy. G Wolf says, "I'm old. I just used the phone and nobody died." Yeah, I mean, like that's fine too. I mean, whatever.
I mean, I think phones are cool. I was just looking up old telephones because I just think they look nice.
Yeah, we have an old telephone in our house that's been here for like forever.
Well, like one of the ones that's got like the numbers, the punch pad.
Yeah, it's got a. I think it's got a rotor. No, it's got like in the rotary layout, but it's push buttons. That's weird. I don't know. I like the old call boxes, like the ones where you would turn the crank.
Yeah.
Operator, give me Klondike 53467, please.
Yeah, the ones you could use to go travel throughout space and time.
Yeah. All right, we wrap it up. We're at 9:00. Thank you so much, Scott, for coming on. Thanks to everybody in chat. Chat, please share this VOD. Check us out, goodmorningcomrade.com. You can also get more information about our stuff there. We have been recording our podcast episodes on Twitch, which is super fun. We were on Twitch last night with me and Robert. He was playing a little bit of Hades as well afterwards, or even kind of like throughout. He was probably playing Hades the whole time. I think I got that dude addicted to to that game, so I don't feel bad about it. I really don't, because it's a really good game. He should be
very callous of you.
Yeah. I'm gonna send y'all a link to our friend Cyber Demon 531 Andrea, who is doing her show Above It All, which starts right now. Thank you to everybody listening and watching. We love you. Bye. I know you did these after catching up on the pod you missed yesterday. Well, cool, man. Yeah, like definitely share with your friends. We're super happy that you're here. We just put out the one from yesterday. All the VODs are on YouTube. You can check out the VODs on YouTube. They don't go away. They don't delete them like Twitch does. That's why I do them on here partially because Twitch deletes the VODs, and I want to start clipping them. I just don't really have capacity right now. I've started doing it a little bit, but it's kind of I haven't developed like an effective workflow for it. Anyway, go watch Andrea's show. I'm gonna go watch Andrea's show. I'm gonna be in chat there. Thanks everybody. Love you. Bye. Bye, Scott.
Bye.